Welcome to the Knitting School in Seattle. This video came out of the video I had a few weeks ago about the two-color brioche. Somebody asked if just by plating you could achieve the same effect. So I'm going to show you what it looks like if you plait it, and I'll just talk about plating with the ribbon bed a little bit as well. Here's the plaiting feeder for the double bed on this Brother knitting machine. And what I have to do is unscrew these two thumb screws on the connecting arm of the ribber, for the ribber. Take that off and put this in there instead. And now I'm going to grab my yarn, which is a much thinner yarn. It's a single 14s merino lamb's wool, and I would normally work with a 2/14s lamb's wool on this machine, round about tension 5 jersey. So this is half the size of that, but I'm going to be using both ends together, so it will be the same size. If I try to put two ends of the 2/14s on here, it would probably be a little too thick to knit. So I've got the first yarn, this light blue one, and I'm going to slide it down. There's like a little, let me see if I can point to it. There's a little slit right here that I can slide that down, and then it goes into like a long space in the back there, and it kind of swings from side to side. And then I'm going to get my second yarn and put that down in the center. So there's just a small opening in the center, and then they both can sit in the top space like that. So the yarn that's in the back, the blue, is going to show up on the purl side of the fabric, and the yarn that's in the front, the pink, is going to show up on the knit side. So I've got my needle set up for a 1x1 rib, and I find the best way to get these two yarns to knit for that first row, which can sometimes be a bit problematic, is instead of putting the yarn down here in the clip like I would normally do with the ribbon bed, I'm going to hold it with my left hand like directly below the feeder, and then with my right hand I'm going to form like an extra sort of yarn feeder here with my thumb and the carriage. And then I'm just going to go across slowly, and hopefully both of them will catch in the needles, which it looks like they did. So now I can put my comb in. Do my circular row. So I'm going to set my cams for a fisherman rib, and just looking at my end needles here, on the left hand side it's on the main bed, so I want to make sure that knits. So I'm going to press this tuck button, and then on the right hand side it's on the ribbon bed, so I want to make sure that knits, and I'll push these tuck buttons up. So now I'm just going to start doing my fisherman rib. Here's a top tip. Don't wear a sweater like the one I'm wearing today when you're working on a knitting machine, otherwise you're going to end up with holes and pulled threads. So here's a plaited fisherman rib off the machine, and you can see it's not really the same animal as the two-color brioche stitch, which is right here. This one is very crisp. The yellow is only yellow and the red is only red. Whereas here you can see a little bit of the blue peeping through the pink, and you can see the pink and the blue on the tuck stitch. So, and then if we flip this over, here's the dominant red side. We flip this one over and it's the same on both sides. So it's, you know, it's still an interesting fabric, but it's not the same as the two-color brioche. And I've got another few plated fabrics here just to show you some of the possibilities with plating. This one, the stitches were moved around. So it's a flat back rib, meaning that all the needles were on the in work on the main bed, and then on the ribber bed, selected needles were on work, and then they were moved around during the knitting to create the sort of waving effect. And then here's some ones that I like a lot, where the needles have moved backwards and forwards between the two beds. So here, these needles that were formerly on the main bed got moved to the ribber, and then the plating changed color. So you get this almost like it looks like it's weaving in and out, but it's just knit purl combinations with plating. And here's another one that is, again, it's using transferred stitches. So needles are brought into work and taken out of work to create this sort of positive, negative pattern. So you can get some really great effects with plating, especially if you add in hand manipulation. Lots of things to explore there. Please give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed that video, and subscribe to my channel. Check out my website, www.theknittingschool.com. I have classes posted through 2019 in my studio in beautiful Seattle. And please feel free to make requests for future videos on the feed below.